Right then, this is a quick walk around video, not from my normal spot actually, because they're doing some work where I am, and it's a little bit late in the day, and for some reason it makes the grass look very green this video. I'm not quite sure what I've done to the filter. I think I might have pressed something inadvertently. But this is a walk around video for Honda CR-V 2-litre automatic. This is officially, it's not actually, it says SET, it's a full black edition model. Honda had some registration issues at the start. I've checked with Honda Bristol, where I used to work, and they've checked on the system, and it is definitely a black edition car. Just 64,000 miles, in absolutely beautiful condition. Starting at the front, lights and lenses clear, intact. There's no cracks, no condensation. Bumper's incredibly clean. Sorry, just going back to the bumper car, absolutely clean. Bonnet, likewise. It's just hard to see a stone chip anywhere on there at all. Coming down the near side to begin with, it's absolutely mirror smooth in the panels. I apologise, it's not great in the sunlight to do these, but unfortunately I'm struggling to find the time to get them all done. But it's because it's so clean, it's almost less relevant on this one. Come around the back, probably my favourite angle for these cars with the black edition kit. High level rear spoiler, these 19-inch alloys, side steps, just such a lovely looking car. You can see there, obviously badged up correctly. That's a black edition car. Come around the back again, all very, very clean and tidy. Offside panel work, again, absolutely beautiful. Just no indentations there at all. So externally, it really, really is a, sorry, come out to the sunlight there. It's a beautiful night, I must admit. It's nice to be out here doing them. I don't normally do them here, but it really is in absolutely fantastic condition, this car. Just coming to the boot area, absolutely enormous boots on these CR-Vs. Normally very heavily used because basically they are just family estate cars. And yet this one is in absolutely stunning condition. Coming to the back of the car, again, all incredibly clean and tidy. It's got away with having a very easy life, this car. For some reason, the video, again, it makes these seat centres look almost like pinky purpley. They're not at all, they're black. It's a really weird trick of the light, and it is quite dark, but there we go. Coming into the front, again, all wonderfully clean and tidy. Passenger seat there, beautiful condition. Finally coming to the driver's side, again all beautifully clean. Footwell areas likewise, and driver's seat just shows hardly anywhere at all. Inside the car now, as always, engines running through this section so the dashboard can be seen illuminated. The dash is just in stunning condition. Sat nav, you can see working exactly as it should. Up above it, where the clock is there, I've put the car into reverse. That lovely clear gridded parking camera, again all working exactly as intended. The video doesn't really do justice to how nice it is, really. Up to the main dash binnacle, hopefully show you there, 64,368 miles. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key are both here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video. And this is for a Honda CR-V 2-litre automatic petrol, and it's the black edition version of the car. This car is registered, if I can read it, it's upside down, RJ64GCY, and mileage currently shown 64,360. The reason we do all of our videos, and especially this road test section, is basically to ensure that if anyone is looking at any of our cars online, they actually get to see the cars we're advertising in operation. And the reason we feel it's important is very simple indeed. We've been to see so many cars over the years which have looked perfectly good in photographs and descriptions, only to get their drive them and find out they've got a fundamental issue which we'd clearly much rather known about before setting off. So that's why we do it. Also do it on these very quiet country roads very close to our premises. This actually forms part of the road test route we take our customers on, and the reason for that is then we'd hope it'd be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car, has been beautifully looked after, it really has. At this stage of doing the video, because it's weird with the editing, the walk around section comes first but it was done later. We've not even cleaned the car, and it's in just ridiculously good condition. But going through the mechanical bits first, engine starts absolutely instantly. This is the way with Honda cars. Settles to a smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. The engines are just simply brilliant petrol engines. Honda, without doubt, make the best four-cylinder engines in the world. And this is a case in point. It's smooth, free revving. They take massive mileages with regular maintenance, and they do it reliably. It is, as an all-round package, there isn't an engine that comes close to these. It really isn't. Temperature gauge, I think I don't know whether I mentioned, running at a third, exactly where it's meant to be on the car. It's been running for some time now. Engine then goes through into the auto gearbox, which, like the manual, the engine rather, is incredibly robust and tough. Gear changes are slick, smooth, well-judged ratios to obviously try and get the best out of the car in terms of performance and economy. And it does a mighty fine job of it as well. You can use these little paddles on the steering wheel as well to change gear. You don't have to select it. You just literally at any time just pull the tabs back or down on this side, up on this side, and then after a couple of seconds, as happened now, it turns itself off. Actually quite handy if you're doing an overtaking manoeuvre where automatics, they haven't got eyes, they can't see what's going on ahead, so they don't really know what you're doing. So rather than it suddenly deciding to change up or down halfway through an overtaking manoeuvre, you can control as and when it does it. So it's quite a nice feature. Regardless of reputation, you should do all the checks on any automatic gearbox. Just make sure when you're stationary and you select it into D or reverse, there shouldn't be any delays in the engagement, and there should be no kind of great clonks or thuds as it engages either. And on the move, the gear changes should be very smooth, and in every respect this one's absolutely perfect, which you'd expect given the low mileage of the car. Coming to the steering of the car, track's absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit, and it's a really lovely power steering system. Honda, the CR-V is the best-selling SUV in the world, and it's very easy to see why when you drive them, or feel why, because it's just very car-like. Unlike so many SUVs which seem to think, the manufacturers seem to think they can get away with giving you a kind of something that drives like a van. This is just so car-like. The steering is beautifully weighted, precise, accurate, and it works brilliantly with the chassis, because the chassis gives you a very compliant and comfortable ride. It's very well judged, but comfort is very much a subjective thing, and some cars I've been in can feel lovely on the road, very smooth, but then you start going through corners and they lollop and lurch and they're nauseating. This is the right side of this road surface is horrible, by the way. I'm just listening out for any kind of mechanical noises, clonks or rattles from underneath the car, and there's none, by the way. It's absolutely as tight as a drum. But when you put this one through corners, it's not a sports car, but what it is, it's eminently capable. It flows through corners wonderfully well. I drove mine last night nearly 100 miles, all up A and B roads, and it's very impressive how it deals with all types of corners. It's very, very good indeed. I'm just going to get around the corner and give the brakes a good old thump. Let's get up to speed first before I do it. far enough ahead of the chap behind so I don't scare him half to death. So just bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to give them a good old shove. But yeah, very, very good indeed. Powerful. What I'm looking for in particular, and especially on automatics, is any kind of signs of any pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal. And there's absolutely nothing at all. It's perfect. So finally, to come inside the car, as I mentioned, at this stage we've not even cleaned it, but it is in absolutely beautiful condition in here. One of the very, very best CRVs you're going to see. They're just lovely places to sit, which is why I've got one, my wife's got one. We put our own money into them as well. First things first, when you get into them, you're very well aware that it's a beautifully put together car. And some people think, build quality is squidgy plastics and heavy sounding doors. Well, they're nice, they're good to look at, aesthetically and everything else, but it's not actually to do with build quality. It's, ultimately, it's how the bits are put together. And here I am in a 8-year-old car, no squeaks, no rattles, and that's common for the CRVs, by the way. They're incredibly well made, and the reason they use kind of harder plastics in these sorts of sections, yeah, some of it's to do with cost, obviously, but also they know this is a family car where things get spilt and bashed, and that's why they hold up so well by comparison to lots of others. You've got brilliant visibility in the car. I can actually see a bonnet and as near as damn at the end of it as well. You've got these massive wing mirrors, so you get a very good feeling of being in control on the car and motorways. You can see what's coming behind you, get a really good field of vision. And the dashboard, whilst very well equipped, is incredibly simple to operate and all working perfectly. Sat nav, as you can see, you've got dual zone climate control, and it's a early warm spring day, and it's quite warm outside. I've got air conditioning on, pumping out lovely cold air. All the switch gear, as is Honda's way, has that kind of almost rubbery, precise action to it. It's brilliantly done. The binnacle in front for the dashboard there, again, just very typical of Honda. They keep it simple, which I love. It's not overdone. So you've got your speedo, huge speedo, flanked by your gauges for your rev counter, fuel and temperature gauges, and a little information pod in the middle. But again, not overdone. Nice small diameter leather bound steering wheel, feels pretty much as new to hold as well, but all the functions working perfectly. This is, by the way, a 4-wheel drive version of the CRV, because not all of them are. The one thing you don't have to do on a Honda CRV, even if it is 4-wheel drive, is to activate it in any way, because it does it all for you. Honda worked out straight away that the vast majority of its customers would be driving as I am today in perfectly good conditions where you don't need 4-wheel drive on. Because the problem with permanent 4-wheel drive cars is, by definition, it's on the whole time. So ultimately you're going to get through your fuel more quickly, get through your tyres more quickly, and it'll put a lot more mechanical stress through the car. The way this works, very simple. It works via the traction control system, actually. If the front wheels start to lose grip, it instantly brings in the rear wheels to give you 4-wheel drive. It's that quick. It's quicker than you could possibly react. It's seamless as well. It's absolutely brilliant, and as I say, in pretty much every video, for fear of repeating myself, I've got R1 we tow a caravan with across some pretty muddy stuff, and we've never ever come close to getting stuck with it. Its simplicity also, by the way, gives it its reliability, because crikey me, 30 years nearly of selling Honda's using this 4-wheel drive system, we've never so much as put a spanner on it. So it is very, very tough indeed. As I said at the start of the video, points fit, it's only brief, it's literally just to show the car in operation and let you know of any issues, of which there's nothing at all. It literally drives absolutely perfectly.